So moving on next, we're going to proceed with a highly anticipated panel discussions featuring industry leaders from global tech giants, Google, Microsoft, and NVIDIA. Powered by South China Morning Post, this panel, Conversations with Tech Leaders on Agentic AI, is going to explore how Agentic AI is revolutionizing industries through autonomous decision-making, real-world applications, and ethical implications, shaping the future of business today. And now, without any further ado, I would like to first invite our moderator, Mr. Kevin Huang, Chief Operating Officer of South China Morning Post. Let's welcome Kevin on stage. And moving on next, I would like to invite our panelists, including Mr. Michael Yu, Managing Director and General Manager of Google Hong Kong. Welcome. And next, let's welcome Mr. Fred Sheu, National Technology Officer of Microsoft Hong Kong. Welcome. And last but not least, let's welcome Mr. Samuel Low, General Manager of NVIDIA AI Technology Center. Should we give a big round of applause for our moderator and panelists? And without any further ado, I'm going to pass over the stage to our moderator, Kevin.
Great, thank you very much. Welcome to this very highly anticipated panel. My name is Kevin Huang. I'm the COO of the South China Morning Post. And we're incredibly honored today to have distinguished speakers from three technology giants, the leaders of which they are based in here in Hong Kong. These companies have revolutionized the way we work, from the personal computer to productivity tools like the Microsoft Office suite that we know back in 1975, if I'm not mistaken, that's when Microsoft was born, to the way we find information on the internet as well as watch videos, that obviously being Google and YouTube. And then we have NVIDIA, which started actually as a chip gaming company, developing 3D quality and really great chips that a lot of gamers would play games. But we're not here today to talk about that. These giants are charting a new path. And that new path is in AI. And in the process of remaking the company, obviously, and their offering, they are also revolutionizing the way we work. So, I think these three companies need no introduction. This morning, I actually did a bit of research on the backgrounds of these companies, and I came up with, and I obviously asked AI. Excuse me. The combined market cap of NVIDIA, Google, and Microsoft is $9 trillion. That's too many zeros, so I'm not really sure what that magnitude means. But if I put it into context, it's greater than the GDP of the United Kingdom, and United Kingdom or France, and it's a third. Three companies, a third of the United States. So amazing what these guys are doing. Not only did they start a lot of revolutions that we all use today and can't live without, but they're also obviously charting the next wave of what technology can do for all of us. So, maybe I'll start by letting each of them introduce themselves very briefly. Maybe we'll start with Michael.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Michael Yu, our Managing Director and GM for Google Hong Kong. And I gotta say, Kevin, it feels like deja vu. It was just like 2 days ago that we were here at the convention center. We had our annual Google Cloud Summit with thousands of people coming out, really talking about how we will continue to advance Hong Kong together, especially with all of this new technology as well. And so it's just a really fun moment to continue that and continue talking about AI and agentic AI as well.
Fred?
Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Fred. My title is National Technology Officer. I will take about an hour to explain what I do. Just treating like a CTO for Microsoft Hong Kong. So, yeah, I was surprised to remember 1975 we found Microsoft back in US, right? 2 months ago, we just passed our 50th anniversary worldwide. So I think from Microsoft point of view, we actually bring technology to support the economy and social development for the last 5 decades, right? With like a PC software supported PC era, the cloud and internet era as well. And today we actually are offering AI, I would say, or infrastructure service and tools to support the new AI era. So I'm spend more time talk about Agentic AI and AI agent, hopefully. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Hi. Myself, Samuel. I run the NVIDIA AI Tech Center for Hong Kong and Macau, and our office is in Hong Kong Science and Technology Park. I joined NVIDIA 8 years ago, and you know our major goal or mission is to support both the business and developer ecosystem. Okay, so we work closely with our all the 8 universities in Hong Kong, and also the research institute, as well as our enterprise in every domain. I think we can share more in terms of how and where we can support the ecosystem later. Thanks.
Sure, Michael. I was at your Google Cloud Summit 2 days ago, and congratulations. Eye-opener for me. I sat in on a few sessions in the morning. I walked around, and some of your colleagues were very kind to show me a demo of some of the things they could do, and I was mind blown. But for a lot of us here who are sort of new and maybe not very technical or unfamiliar with terms like AI agents or agentic AI, can you dumb it down for us?
Yeah, I mean, we did spend a lot of time showcasing this 2 days ago, and I think one of the most impressive demos that we did was building a whole mini video game actually in about 3 to 5 minutes in front of the crowd.
On stage.
On stage, live, right? And so if I were to simplify it into, let's say, my own environment, I love cooking, right? And so imagine yourself in a wonderful restaurant, and in the kitchen, there's a lot of highly specialized tools. So you could have a specialized tool for meat preparation, vegetable preparation, sauces. And so those are your agents, right? So we have lots of organization building agents for processes and tasks today. But what makes it agentic is the direction you give it. And so you have that head chef. And depending on what the order is, or depending on what the workload or the solution is that you're trying to drive, it will send out directions to all of these various agents to build this incredibly beautiful dish for you. And you can apply that in a business environment. So it's not just about a function, but even within a function, you have lots of different tasks, right? And it's that coordination of tasks that we are now really seeing in this new agentic era as well.
So is agentic AI the head chef?
Agentic AI is that head chef that will coordinate across all the various agents.
Within the steak department, you have customers who want it rare, medium rare, they want it well done, and they want it different things. And so that's sort of the agents that will make sure that each order is served up as
Correct.
per the customer's needs. Fred?
Oh, okay,
Anything to
my
add?
turn. If you want a definition of agentic AI or AI agent, you can actually check with Copilot or Gemini. I'll give you a lot of explanations. Actually, I did that. I just picked the first one come on top of my Copilot. And it defines like it's AI a power system, a system powered by AI, of course. It can actually reason and plan as well as act to complete a certain task or even a workflow. Of course, at a certain point of time, humans have to actually go in and take charge and make decisions along the time. So it's really automated process with like a team of AI agents, if you like, will help you to complete a task directed by human. That's really the first definition. I have another 21 if you want, and check it out.
Yeah, okay. I would like to go back a bit how this AI journey kickstart. Okay, when of course we will touch base about the agentic AI or AI agent, right? When we go back a little bit, how this AI journey is kickstart, or what we call the big bang of AI. Okay, in fact, it started in 2012. Okay, the ImageNet competition. At that time, computer vision start using the deep neural network, huge amount of data of all the image data and the GPU to make the recognition, the image recognition to a level that in the past 10 years that cannot reach that delta. Okay, and since then everyone try to leverage the deep learning algorithm, okay, to start the AI booming in every domain. Then come to another year, that is 2022, the launch of ChatGPT. Okay, suddenly everyone, because the first wave is using AI to do a lot of computer vision. Okay, all other vision, image, things like that. But when ChatGPT launched in 2022, everyone suddenly aware, hey, the AI model now can recognize more than that. Okay, now you can recognize the image, you can recognize your text, your video, or your speech. Okay, so that will expand a bit. Okay, that means generative AI become another new technology or algorithm that bring not the human life, as well as the enterprise life to another
There's
level.
a lot more use cases.
Exactly.
Just because you've got, before that it was probably a close group of users just testing it out. Once you open up to the masses, you have all these use cases that, maybe the engineers didn't think about it at all. And all this is, unleashing new opportunities. Billions of people just using, various types of AI tools. But Samuel, let me double click on that to the next question. All the things that all of you have described to me is great and wonderful. But for companies themselves to invest in it, to a non-technical CEO or maybe even to a CFO, I get asked all the time, what is this going to cost me? Right? And the CFO obviously is going to make sure the P&L is there. Can you explain the value of this investment today, or what the overall value you think it will achieve when someone is going to commit these millions or potentially billions of dollars?
Right. So as I just mentioned, okay, the first awakening is ChatGPT to awaken the community. Now everyone, you have your mobile phone, can easily to have your personal agent to ask things. Okay, not the chatbot. It's an agent that you can ask it to complete a task. A task like, okay, tomorrow I'd like to place a trip to Tokyo. You help me to book the flight, you help me to book the hotel and the ground transportation. That the AI agent or the personal assistant can help you to complete all these tasks. Okay, go back to the enterprise. Since then, okay, every day now every consumer now aware, okay, AI agent become more useful than in the past. When it comes to the enterprise, in fact, every week I meet with the executive of enterprise. First, you have to know their pain point or their priority when they run their enterprise. There are always two streams. One is how to save costs or improve the operational efficiency, right? That is, internal. And second, if those are the sales executive, they're always looking for how I can grow my market, find my new customer, know my new customer, and serve my new customer better, right? Those are the two angles we always, start talking to the executive. And AI or train those AI model now can recognize and help those executives have insight to their data and to those information they would like to resolve the two stream I just mentioned.
So solving, obviously the key to any investment is solving a business pain point, but then where it sort of maybe may resonate very well is going to be cost saving or productivity. Michael, do you have a different variation of that?
Yeah, I would absolutely agree on really understanding your business pain points. But I would also say that over the last 2 years, the technology has matured quite a bit, that now organizations are moving much quicker through the test and learn phase and beginning to deploy on meaningful, impactful projects, because that's where you're really going to see a large return for the investments that you're making. So there's good examples of, we have a global retailer, for example, and because Gemini can really understand contextual language now, and so if you're going through a search for products on a retail site, we can also work with the organization to make the appropriate recommendations for home decorations or add-ons. And because it understands that context, it can drive a lot more extra revenue at scale, for this online home retailer, right? And so, even in that example, immediately, based on our A/B tests, you're seeing 16 million in additional revenue right from the get-go. But I think it's very important you move from this small-scale test and learn to, hey, where can we really deploy it? And if you look at Google now, we are now deploying Gemini across everything, and that's where you're seeing the exponential gains within our own products as well.
Fred?
Yeah, before I actually respond to your question, I want to share one information, if you like. We just published a report we call Annual Web Trend Index Report 2025. Just go to Google it and download it and read it. We actually surveyed 31,000 companies around the world, including some companies in Hong Kong as well. Just one information, one data, if you like, data point we got is more than 80% of employees or workers around the world, including Hong Kong, say they actually burn out. They don't have enough time to complete their work, their task. While 50% of employers, more than actually 53% of employers or their manager, the leaders, say they don't deliver enough. So everybody just don't have enough time to complete their tasks on hand. So go back to the topic of today, the Agentic AI. AI agent is actually make and build and invent to help people to resolve that problem. Just say one example. I know how much time you spend to do your expense report. I actually spend more time to do my expense report than preparing this panel because it's so time consuming. I have to actually pick up all the receipts, scan it, put in system, get my manager to approve. But what if I have a expense approval agent that work for me? I just wanted to just submit all this receipt and actually help me to go through the entire, say, expense report approval claim process with no time. So that will help me save at least 20, 30 minutes a day, right? Sure. So that will resolve that data point I mentioned earlier. 80% of your workers complaining they don't have enough time. And 53% of leaders, they say you don't deliver enough. So if I let go this task to agent, I talk about agent more, sure, to help me complete this process, I'll have more time to deliver more valuable thing to my boss.
I'm hearing a lot of productivity from Samuel and from Fred, obviously, and from Michael. I'm obviously hearing how do you make gains on your business? A bit of productivity, but I think what a CFO wants to hear. He learned a number out. That partner or company that's using your product, Gemini, is making 60 million more just because of the short deployment process, test and learn, and then they're going all out with more recommendations. I'm not sure, Fred alluded to taking 30% of his time to do expenses report every day. I'll just share personally, I spend 0 of my time doing my expense reports because my assistant does that for me. Now I have a question for you. If I use your AI agent, does that mean I can now, perhaps reconsider the resource for an assistant for something else, because I think that's on a lot of people's minds. If the AI and the AI agent can do that, then honestly, why do I need you here? Has these conversations come up in some of your, hard truth, real conversations with your customers? Because a lot of people are worried about this.
In fact, I talked to some CEO of those listed company recently. They also mentioned, what's the trend and how the AI will impact my business and my people and my staff. In fact, everybody know when AI implement with all this AI agent, agentic AI into an enterprise, some jobs might gone. That's really true, But on the other hand, some jobs are created, right? So my conversation to the CEO is, the CEO's perspective is, when he has new recruitment, he will recruit those staff has skills or her skill with AI, okay, instead of none. I think that is the approach everyone need to be considered to skill up yourself, okay, to understand better how AI can help to streamline my work, make me more productive. I think that is one of the angle we see from all the enterprise executive angle, right? That is one side.
I want to talk about adoption of AI and agentic AI in Hong Kong. And Michael, maybe I'll start with you because you already kind of alluded to that. Rate from 1 to 5 being the highest. What do you feel in general the adoption of AI within enterprises in Hong Kong is? And can you give us a bit more flavor on that 60 million gains that you talked about or other examples?
Yeah, actually, we shared a really great stat at the Cloud Summit, where 52% of organizations are already using AI here in Hong Kong, and so we will continue to see that increase over time. But I think one of the things that we have been talking with a lot of leaders about is, you have AI agent, which we talked about. You've got agentic AI, but this is sort of like in one workflow, right? And so I think leaders really need to think about in an environment where you will have a whole ecosystem of that. And so Google is really thinking about building this entire ecosystem, working with the partners in the entire industry to enable this agentic era. So one of the things we talked about was agent-to-agent protocols, right? And so we have collaborations even with Microsoft or many other organizations, SAP. You talked about expenses, and I think we need to think very deeply about how we're going to build this whole ecosystem, not just at Google, but also within businesses as well. And so that's where we're really seeing some of these really good use cases. But again, if I were to share another example, many of us have operations with customer service centers, and we strive ourselves on ensuring we have really strong customer satisfaction. But again, because Gemini can understand context and nuance of a conversation and digest problems differently, actually there's a great opportunity for us to provide better service actually to pain points that maybe potentially customers are dealing with, right? And so there's a great example of, hey, we've been able to use a lot of this AI and actually improve our customer satisfaction scores from 90% to the high 90s because we're able to handle some of these requests at scale better as well. And then you have the most difficult ones actually going towards in-person and much more in-depth as well. So I think these are some of the areas immediately that businesses are already seeing opportunities and have already deployed solutions around it already.
Is that the low-hanging fruit in your point of view? And are some of these companies in Hong Kong with a large call center or customer service operations starting to at least try it out?
I think we've all had experience of calling into any organization for customer support, and sometimes they may not be at the expectation that we want. And so I would say there's lots of organizations right now who are very clearly working through this. And Google also is a good example of this. If you have an issue with your product and you go into our Google Help Center, actually we will have an agent there helping you understand all of the help pages, understand the context of your question, and point you in the right direction to hopefully drive resolution even before you call in.
I used to work at a telco before coming to SCMP, and at that particular telco, we had 300 agents based in Guangzhou, and another 60 out here in Hong Kong. And if I was there, I think that would be a direction we allude to how to optimize this operation, but be able to serve our customers better, because a lot of times some of the reasons why people are calling or sending an email were because there was an error in the building, their internet was cut off for whatever reason, or they couldn't do IDD calling, and it would be the same 10 questions, but you multiply that by millions of customers, and that costs a lot of money to the extent of 300 plus people on the ground, and this is a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think in terms of data, we go back to this virtual industry report, where actually the sample from Hong Kong, we answered question, is your organization using some sort of AI agent? I think we have 50% of response say yes, right? So it's pretty much aligned with what Michael's just indicated earlier. I think in terms of use cases, first of all, AI agent, I would say there are 3 to 4 phases. Depends on how far you go, right? I think the lowest level, the simplest level is really AI agent is more like a personal agent. Like today, if you're using any kind of Microsoft service, like our Copilot, there's always an agent builder there. I can always build my own agent to help me to do some sort of personal, I would say, service, if you like. Help me read an email, help me reply an email, help me to find information. I can actually have an agent called a panel Q&A agent myself. So I just plug in all the questions you have for me, and this agent give me all the possible answers. Right, this is really a personal. This is the first phase.
Who's using it in Hong Kong?
I'm using it myself.
No, which company?
Everybody can use it.
Is there a company in Hong Kong using it already?
If you subscribe to Microsoft 365 Copilot's the agent it used to be on the right, now it's on the left. Okay. Anyway, you'll be confused. By the way, it's there. You can always build your own agent. But this, and I just mentioned, is the phase 1. It's really basic agent. When I say the agentic AI, there's many phases. The next phase is more like a human and agent work as a team, right? So you're actually leading a team of agents that work for you to really complete a certain task or even business process. And the final phase, the third phase, probably final at the moment, is really the human lead and agent operate. You just provide as a human, I just provide direction for a task or workflow, and the agent can automatically create all these tasks to complete a business workflow. It could be internal information or it's extended external information. I can actually reach out to Google document through this like interchange protocol, if you like MCP or A2A, all is available today. So you can actually build out your own very advanced agent system. Sure. So in the future, we don't really manage people. We actually, of course, we manage people, but we actually also need to manage agents, the human agents as a team. So it's really depends on which stage mentioned your question about. So we already have many other people or use cases using this agent technology.
Thank you. Samuel, 1 to 5, what is the state of AI adoption in Hong Kong by enterprises, and do you have a good example of this is a company that just took it on, and it's a journey. We all recognize that.
Right.
It's phases, but
right.
It's a good example of a company adopting new technology and they're seeing gains.
Right. Yeah. In fact, okay. When you talk about the ranking, I think it really depends on the industry you're talking about, right? Like I just echo what Fred mentioned, the customer agent, right? I think every enterprise, like in the financial services, banking, insurance, definitely they have the call center, right, to serve a daily call to resolve their daily customer inquiry or some of the problem in the telco, right? I already have some, customer, they already leverage the AI agent, although they are not, completely replace the human agent, but it's running in parallel. Means when a customer call in to the data center, the human agent is still the main person to communicate. But on the other hand, on his screen or her screen, already have an AI agent in parallel listen what the conversation. Okay, because in the banking environment, there's a lot compliance thing, regulation, and I mean for the conversation, the AI agent already posts, the customer profile and the previous questions or some of the challenges, the unfixed problem to the human agent. So the human agent can respond much faster because he already get all the information and suggestion from the AI agent. I think that will definitely smooth or streamline, the quality to serve the customer.
You've seen that happen in Hong Kong already? There is a customer?
Yes, they do.
Who the crowd wants to know who
the banking, one of the
banks.
Quite famous bank in Hong Kong.
Okay. I mean, I think it's all about leading by example, right? Because there's something, it gives us confidence too that, I'm not sure which bank it is. It could be my bank. I'm sure it's one of us are banking with that bank, and if they're using it, and we've noticed that there is no call time, my problem with my credit card statement or whatever it is has been resolved very quickly, I hope that, it sort of inspires the rest of the business community to sort of take that leap of faith. But I think, pragmatically, that change is difficult, whether it's from a systems perspective, from a people perspective. I'm a big advocate of just small wins. You don't need to take out the plumbing in your home all in one go, right? Just fix a few things here and there, and these small wins inspire confidence and continue, to give everyone in the organization, better equipped and confidence to kind of continue to change that. So assume one day that all these companies, the other 48% that isn't adopting AI yet, per Michael's Google's report rather, start adopting it. Now, what are some of the considerations that leaders should think about when it comes to framework and guidelines? Fred?
Framework in terms of technical framework or human framework? Okay, let me address both.
Sure.
Framework in terms of organizations, right? Today, most of us working in an organization, we have an organization charts, right? So you have a CEO and COO, and you have some staff managers. I think in the future, with all this digital, I would say, employees or digital colleagues join your organizations, you probably will not need that many. You don't really need organization charts. You probably need the work charts. It's really a work objective, work process. How you want to achieve, you don't really need a lot of tiers or organization structure to handle that. So you read more like how organization can actually work with these digital laborers or digital colleagues, we call them agents, they help you complete certain business workflow or business process. So that's more from the organization structure point of view. I just talked to Tony, he's actually running an HR consulting firm. I say, have you started to help people to hire digital colleagues yet? I think that's the future. You need people to help you to pick the right digital colleagues to fit into your organization, that your people will be able to work with these digital agents in the future. That's from organizational framework. I mean, in terms of other framework, there's a lot of AI framework your organization need to get familiar with, like a semantic kernel, and this all these technical connectivity framework that your IT department really need to beef up, and how to actually work within organization, build out your own agents. So, and I go back to building agents, it may not be as difficult as you think, as even a business user can build your own agent. Today, you can actually using local technology to build an agent, or even using a really high developer to build
So
that.
more on human to agent integration and vice versa, and what are the guidelines, what the agent shouldn't be doing, and what the human should take, when and where it should take
That's
over.
organization.
So in regards to maybe a bank, maybe I don't want that agent all over my bank account and my past history and my assets or what have you. Would that be something prudent for a bank to do?
Yeah, in fact, okay, from what we observe, inside the enterprise, some of the role play will also being changed or being transformed. Like the IT department, traditionally they manage the IT infrastructure, right? But with this AI industrial revolution in place, they need to, transform their role from traditionally just manage the IT facility to serve their different departments. Instead, they need to be more specific on assist how their different, like the HR department, like the supply chain department, how to build their AI agent. Because AI agent, what we talk about is domain specific. That means HR, they have their domain data. Every enterprise have their own data. That or those, they on one side they need to comply the industry, but on the other side they have their own data set or data structure. I think the IT department, traditionally, we call it a kind of call center. They don't spend money. But what we observe in the near future, in fact, is happening now, is what all these IT building their infrastructure, what we call is the AI factory. What the AI factory mean is AI factory means you have some product produce, right? AI factory is to transform data to outcome. The outcome can be intelligent, can be what we call a token. Token can be anything, text, voice, video, everything, every format or protein, right? And at scale, that is what we see the AI factory means. And the IT role play will transform, from traditional, they spend money, but tomorrow they will help the enterprise to gain more money, to gain more insight through their data. I mean, that is the framework we foresee inside every enterprise. They will have their AI factory, no matter on-prem or on the cloud.
It's making an impact to the business. But Michael, Google knows more about me than I do about myself, because I wasn't sure where I was supposed to be at 11:30 today until I checked my Google Calendar, and then I think we all are the same. So what is your recommendation for companies and obviously governance in terms of these frameworks?
Actually, one of the most common conversations when I sit down with executives is around how do you land this large-scale sort of cultural change within the organization to embrace this technology. Because you may have pockets of it, but to actually get it to scale is quite difficult. And so, I might build a little bit on what Fred said. At the very top, you need to think about it at the organizational level. And so a lot of processes today are built on legacy systems. And so we really need to unwind that, like in a new AI first world. How do we rebuild that, right? And what does that look like? And how does that stream through the organization? Samuel talked about data. Every company's got great information. How do you use that? How do you structure it to drive the right insight? Because bad data in is also bad insights out for an organization. And then finally at the people layer, right? So you want to enable your first line managers to really embrace, because that's where you're going to get scale, right? And then once you get to this tipping point and everyone begins to do it, you'll get this natural flow across the organization. And even within Google, like we play with this every day, and it's been interesting to see over the last couple of years, you've kind of hit this point now where teams are coming up with their own ideas and they're sharing it with each other. And that tells me, even here, when we host a lunch and learn session on their own, and they're teaching their own team stuff, I think that's a good sign, right? And so that's what I would say across those three layers.
I was at a luxury summit last week, and the president of Asia Pacific of one of the luxury brands has been telling his staff that you have to use AI in some way, shape, or form, even if it's used for spell checking, if it's used to just replying an email. I want every single one of you to do that, because until you start using it, you're not going to know what the possibilities are. And you're going to go from reply my email to analyze the spreadsheet and then to solving even more complex problems. I think that's really important. One last question. One piece of advice you would have to a senior leader, a C-suite, in terms of what you should do today to ensure your company's existence in 10 years from today, in relation to AI, of course.
Yeah, okay. A lot of executives always being asked, what's your enterprise AI strategy? Okay, I think it's very simple. AI is the strategy. Okay, you have to embrace AI in every workflow, streamline your internal and external. Okay, and AI is also a journey. Okay, how you start the journey, how you want to accelerate the journey is also, the key decision maker. From our side, like myself, Microsoft, and Google, technology is no longer the issue. Okay, how you execute is the issue. So how you start the journey and go with the journey is what we see from every enterprise. How fast, so how slow.
Your advice is what? Just start.
Start ASAP. Start today. Start now.
And the consequence of not doing so?
You will be behind.
Or maybe not even around. And I said 10 years, but I know Michael is waiting to say it's going to be less than that. But please, Michael, what is that one advice we should do today to ensure our companies are around in a decade from today?
I'll give two. First one is to our leaders out there. really commit to an AI-first organization. Right? Do the time to think about redefining those processes. I think for all of us, everyone at Google is going back to school every day. You know, there's a great story about how Sergey, who's one of Google's founders, came out of retirement and is back in the campus in Mountain View, just learning with all the other Googlers. So if the founder of Google is going back to school, we're all learning. And so keep learning, keep talking to each other, and I think we're going to see this incredible momentum. And I'm a big believer that all of us are going to advance Hong Kong together.
Yeah, again, definitely embrace AI. I think everybody wants to become a frontier firm. So just go to that report, talk about frontier firms. So frontier firms always have three characteristics. One is embrace, have an AI factory, so you can have intelligence on tape, so you can on tap. So you can actually get intelligence all the time. So you need the AI factory, whether it's on cloud or on-prem. The second thing is enable your people to work with AI agent as a team. Last is everybody has to become a boss of AI agents, right? So these three characteristics. The last one, get them come to this event. Just go outside and look at all this agentic AI solutions out there. They realize it's not that difficult, right? This all out there. It's not with imaginations. Let them see how it works for the organizations.
Great, thank you. I'll just summarize in my own words. It's just get started. If Sergey Brin, who is worth billions of US dollars, is going back to school and learning about AI, what's your excuse? But thank you very much, everyone. It's been enjoyable. Appreciate your insights.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. So please kindly stand up and let's take a good photo together. So thank you so much for giving us a wonderful insight on Agentic AI. So gentlemen, so please look at our official photographer in the front row, and please give me your brightest and cheerful smile, and let's get ready. So definitely very inspiring sharings from our leaders and talking about how Agentic AI is revolutionizing industries. All right, thank you very much, our guests. So please kindly proceed off stage. Thank you. All right, a big round of applause for our guests one more time. Thank you very much. Thank you. So now, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our morning session, and we're going to take a lunch break right now.